The 8th Olympic century is nearing its end, and the Mediterranean rests in a decadent peace. But atop the eastern mountain ranges of the Scarlet City, men do not seek comfort. They seek cultivation. Within the Rosy Dawn Cult, the climb to the peak of Olympus Mons is a ruthless race to godhood, fueled by a vital life force called Pneuma. Here lives Leo Atos, the young aristocrat. Blessed with unparalleled talent, he is the fiercely powerful heir to the cult's absolute ruler. To Leo, the elite world of cultivators has grown suffocatingly dull until the arrival of a mysterious, defiant-eyed slave. His name is Solus, a fallen patrician and former legionary from the salted ruins of Rome. Bound by chains that stifle his pneuma, Solus possesses an intolerable audacity, wrestling the young aristocrat to a bloody draw in the cult's sacred pools. Instead of execution, a strange brotherhood is forged in secret. Leo even shatters tradition by dragging his Roman slave into the cult's harrowing initiation rites. But as the mountain is cracked open by a falling star, revealing the featureless, bisected corpse of a fallen sun god, both masters and slaves realize the terrifying truth of their world. In a hierarchy where gods weave the threads of destiny, no one is truly free. Following their wild clash in the sacred pools, Leo Atos and his defiant slave, Solus, face the harsh morning after, tasked by the imposing cult leader, Daemon Atos, with the grueling slave work of draining and hauling water to clean the tainted filial pools. The two are forced into close quarters. What was meant to be a punishment becomes a crucible for an unlikely understanding. As they scale the steep mountain paths under the blazing sun, carrying heavy clay jugs, Leo coaxes out the slave's past. Solus reveals his upbringing within the ruthless Roman legions, exposing a world where single combat is brutal, practical, and stripped of the decadent Greek pageantry. Their sharp philosophical clash intensifies, a battle between Leo's aristocratic pride and the Romans' disciplined stoicism. Through their banter, a startling realization takes root in the young aristocrat's mind. This man is no ordinary barbarian born to serve. His bearing, his discipline, and his history mirror Leo's own noble origins. Solus is a young patrician in chains, a mirror image of the elite, and a hidden monster waiting to shake the foundations of the Rosy Dawn. The daily grind of the Rosy Dawn Cult continues, but the gymnasium becomes the ultimate stage for performance and power. Solus finds himself serving as an outsider looking in, watching the naked, oil-slicked Greek initiates practice the divine art of pancration. To the disciplined Roman legionary, it looks like nothing more than decadent vanity. But Leo Atos views martial excellence as the true reflection of a cultivator's soul. Stepping onto the marbled octagon, the young aristocrat effortlessly dismantles his juniors, proving that his mastery over his vital pneuma is leagues ahead of the rest. His display of absolute dominance draws a massive crowd, but it also draws a target. Castor, a proud senior initiate, armed with a duelist's blade, steps up to challenge the unarmed heir. It is a dangerous, politically charged trap masked as a friendly bout. Under the watchful eyes of the gymnasiarch and the silent gaze of Solus, Leo accepts the challenge. With a roaring flare of pneuma, Castor lunges for the throat, but Leo merely smiles, ready to show the entire cult why the bloodline of the tyrant remains completely untouched. Behind the grand statues and sacred waters of the Rosy Dawn Cult lies a terrifying reality for those at the bottom. Athos, a young slave girl bound to the estate for 3 months, knows all too well that her life hangs by a thread, entirely at the mercy of wandering cultivators. Her worst fears come true when she and her friend are cornered in a deserted hallway by Xuthus, a leering initiate looking to take what he desires by force. Just as despair sets in, The newly arrived Roman slave, Solus, steps between them. Standing without a shred of fear, Solus commands the girls to leave and openly defies the powerful cultivator. Outraged by the insolence, Xuthus strikes with all the force of a martial artist. But a sickening crack echoes through the hall. Impossibly, the initiate's hand shatters into misshapen bone against Solus's hard-headed jaw, leaving the slave completely unbothered. As the days pass, an unlikely bond forms between the grateful Athos and the stoic Roman. Discovering his hidden talent for the lyre, she painstakingly builds him a crude instrument from a tortoise shell and sheep's gut. Yet the fragile piece is shattered that very night. Peering down into the moonlit courtyard, Athos watches in pure horror as the young aristocrat discovers Solus by the filial pools, sparking a violent, bloody brawl that leaves her certain she has just witnessed a man's execution. The grueling duties of the estate cannot dull the sharp minds of the elite. Leo Aitos finds himself trapped in a private tutorial, thoroughly bored by an elder philosopher's lecture on Pythagorean arithmetic. To Leo, the cult's elders are nothing but surly, uninspired bureaucrats. Sweeping the dry academic papers into a messy stack, the young aristocrat escapes the suffocating atmosphere and heads straight for the kitchens. There he finds Solus, the stoic Roman, applying far too much aggression to a mound of bread dough. While the other kitchen slaves tremble in absolute terror at the heir's sudden intrusion, Leo casually sweeps the tables clean and dumps his academic busywork right in front of the barbarian. What follows is an intense intellectual duel between two brilliant minds trapped in different stations of life. As the hours blur into dawn, their discussion shifts from advanced mathematics and the balance of the soul to the rigid, disciplined logistics of Roman military life. The dark-braided slave girl watches in stunned silence as the boundaries between master and servant completely vanish. By the time the rosy-fingered dawn breaches the heavens, Leo realizes that he is no longer just dealing with a formidable fighter, but an intellectual equal who refuses to be broken by a life of servitude. The heat of summer brings the harvesting season, and the vast agricultural fields of the Rosy Dawn Cult are swarming with activity. Leo Aitos traverses the farmlands, playing chaperone to his 9-year-old cousin Myron, a rare cultivating prodigy who has recently hit a frustrating wall in his advancement. Desperate for a real fight, the boys spot a lone slave methodically harvesting wheat with a sickle and launches a lightning-fast ambush. That hidden monster is Solus. With effortless precision, the Roman shatters the boy's bronze blade with his sickle and casually stuffs the arrogant young cultivator into a tall reed basket. When Leo steps in, laughing, he turns the embarrassing defeat into a profound lesson. He tasks the stoic Roman with guiding the frustrated child through his spiritual block. Kneeling in the dirt, Solus shares the wisdom of the Roman legions, showing the young aristocrat that cultivation is like a naval journey. Until now, Myron has sailed only on favorable winds, but to truly master his pneuma, he must learn discipline, order, and performance in the most unexpected places. Through the simple art of harvesting wheat, the young prodigy finally learns to row his own ship toward heaven. The pressure within the inner circles of the Rosy Dawn Cult is mounting as the annual dinner of the young pillars turns into a battleground of pride. Lydia Aitos, the fiercely talented 15-year-old promised to Leo since birth, watches in growing dismay as her future husband drifts away from his family responsibilities. While her cousins, Heron and Castor, nurse their bruised egos, it becomes painfully clear that the Leonine heir has abandoned their elite sanctuary to spend his days with a common slave. The next afternoon, amid the electric excitement of the looming initiation rites, Lydia tracks Leo to a private mountaintop alcove, a secret sanctuary the cousins carved out as children. Her blood boils when she finds the young aristocrat sharing their sacred space with Solus, who is casually meditating on the celestial mysteries. When the arrogant Roman slave dares to speak out of turn, Lydia's frayed patience snaps completely. Unleashing her terrible pneuma, Lydia throws a deadly rosy palm to execute the insolent barbarian on the spot. But before her divine technique can connect, Leo flashes forward, catching her wrist and pulling her tight to his chest. As her spiritual light fizzles out against his overwhelming strength, she looks into his sharp scarlet eyes, trapped in a dangerous spiral of love, jealousy, and absolute rage. The final day of the qualification trials has arrived, and the grand agora of the Rosy Dawn Cult is a chaotic sea of hopeful applicants. Leo's 9-year-old cousin, Myron, takes his role as an examiner far too seriously, aggressively berating a terrified applicant who shattered a fine block of marble. Stepping in to soothe the crowd, the young aristocrat teaches his little cousin a vital lesson in leadership. True nobles do not bark like common dogs. With the stoic Roman slave Solus at his side supplying the heavy stone, Leo tests the next young applicant. Under the heir's demanding gaze, the boy channels his pneuma into the marble, fracturing the stone until it sheds its outer layers to reveal a perfect, proud statue of himself. It is a crude but victorious display of performative excellence, earning the boy a chance to face the cult's elder philosophers. As the sun sets and the successful initiates bid their families a tearful farewell, the atmosphere shifts to intense, shadowed anticipation. The ancient, secretive annual initiation rites are about to begin. In the dead of night, Leo breaks every sacred tradition of the estate. He kicks down the door to the slave quarters, drops a leather sack over the sleeping Roman's head, and forcefully carries Solus out into the dark to face the trials of heaven. Deep in the dark, silent hours of the night, the forbidden initiation trials of the Rosy Dawn Cult begin. Leo Athos, carrying the blindfolded and bound Roman slave Solus on his back, ventures into the dangerous, unseen depths of the mountain. Leo's audacious plan shatters centuries of sacred tradition. He is forcing a foreign slave into a ritual meant only for Greek elite cultivators. When the blindfold is finally removed, Solus finds himself standing before the terrifying mouth of a subterranean labyrinth, surrounded by the cult's young elite initiates. Among them is Lydia, Leo's fierce fiancée, whose shock quickly turns into burning fury at this ultimate act of disrespect to their noble bloodlines. But Leo only smiles, challenging the entire system. To survive the trial and prove his worth to the heavens, Solus must navigate the shifting, lethal shadows of the mountain alongside Leo. As the elite initiates look on with mixed horror and curiosity, the boundaries between master and slave are officially erased. The trial has begun, and the Roman barbarian is about to show the Greek gods that chains can only hold a monster for so long.